Hey there, folks. If you're new to this channel, a big warm welcome. And if you're returning, it's fantastic to see you back. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the voxel shader that is available in Chaos Phoenix. I thought it would be a great idea to create this mini tutorial because it occurred to me recently that perhaps not everyone is aware of this tool, or maybe they're just not sure what exactly are the benefits of using it. It might be because it's not accessible from the toolbar. Instead, you need to navigate to the Create tab. From there, select Phoenix FD from the drop-down menu, and you can find it right there. In fact, someone asked me that a while ago. What is the point of having this, since it has the same functionality that we already have inside the volumetric rendering settings of the simulator itself? And that's true, of course. We do have exactly the same settings inside of the rendering rollout of the simulator, and also we have the same thing inside the V-Ray volume grid. But consider this. Here's a simple simulation. Some fuel is being emitted at a default temperature of 300 kelvins. A voxel tuner gradually increases the fuel's temperature. When the temperature reaches the ignition point, the fuel starts burning, producing smoke in the process. Here in the rendering settings, there's the emissive part of the shader. It is set to visualize the temperature channel by default. Of course, you can choose a different source. You can change it to smoke. That way the smoke will become the emissive element. You can also use the fuel, the speed. You can plug in a texture or use the RGB channel. In other words, you can use whatever information was recorded in the cached simulation sequence files. Then there's the opaque, non-emissive part, typically used to visualize the smoke. Again, you can change it to whatever channel you want. You can plug in the fuel here, set some bluish tint, and do all sorts of crazy things. This level of flexibility makes the Phoenix's shader extremely powerful. However, it only includes one emissive and one opaque element. Fortunately, you can add an extra shader to your scene. Simply point it to the simulator from which it will read data and get an additional set of emissive and opaque elements. That way the simulation container renders the flames and smoke. While the voxel shader node renders the fuel as a second flame. I simply changed the color gradient to blue and played with the curve. I use this technique in my candle rendering setup, and also for this wave of ignited gasoline. What's interesting about these two setups is that they do not use a fuel channel at all. Instead, I set the flame using the temperature values in the emissive fire part of the shader as usual. I use the smoke channel to visualize the smoke. Then, in a separate voxel shader, I pulled the smoke channel again. But this time, I used it as an emissive element, changed the color, and adjusted the curve. And there you have it, just one quick example of how to use the voxel shader. I'm certain that with your creativity and exploration, you can uncover numerous other ways to utilize this tool effectively. Let me know in the comments if you found this interesting and useful. Also, tell me if you're interested in getting more such tips in the future. Take care and goodbye.